Good morning. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us for another edition of the Morning Breeze, man. Always rocking with you guys, as always, man. Outside of me, I got my guy, Mr. Media himself, Jordan JC, in the building.
Red Nation, are we here? The best show for Chicago sports. Oh my God!
Y'all got me now? Y'all got me now? Y'all got me now? That was wild. I came in so excited. These are the struggles that happen. We're back, whatever. I don't know. That was weird. 10 players we got to watch closely at the 2025 OTAs. We got real football back on the field. We got real players, real excited at every position. And we got a lot to watch for. All that more on today's Morning Breeze. Ladies and gentlemen, the date is 5/20/2025. It's 7:03 in the morning. And the question that I know everyone is asking, where's Jordan JC? Jordan, are you out there? Did the birds get you, Jordan? Oh, Jordan. We're all asking that question right now. I think we lost them. It's all good, though. It's all good. Porter said, JC doing his best Cinderella with the birds. Breeze Nation was good. I don't know what was going on with the mic. Maybe it was unplugged. Or the cord is going bad. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Could be the weather. Maybe it's the weather. But appreciate y'all for tuning in to the show. I love it. That like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do.
Come on. Push the button. Come on. Push the button. Come on, push the button.
Yeah, come on, push your button.
You heard what she said.
Yeah, I heard what Sue Young said. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page. I love that everyone instantly has like all the reasons JC's not here. He's in a meat coma, finishing up a meaty meal. He's jiving with steak and eggs. He's doing his best Cinderella impression with the bird. JC needs a production team. He's such a diva. Oh, man. Appreciate y'all for rocking with us on another morning here, man. OTAs is cracking. It's getting started off here today. Over the next couple of days, we're going to see Bears OTA get itself underway here. There's going to be 3 OTA periods this off season for the Chicago Bears. I would expect the Bears pretty much to hit on all 3. There's also going to be mandatory mini camp in between that. Talked about this a little bit yesterday. A lot of teams are doing that now. And so I think that it's one of those things where it's like, okay, we're going through all the systems and all this stuff. Now we actually get to implement it here with mandatory mini camp. Get to do a little bit more work. And then, we go back to a third OTA period. But I want to talk about 10 players that, oh, there he is. Look at him. Look at him. There he is. How you doing?
I'm all right.
Not
going to say if I was tired or not, but welcome everybody.
The chat has come up with so many different reasons why you were late. You were doing your best Cinderella impression with the birds.
Yes, yes.
we got you were finishing up a meaty meal.
I had a conversation with the birds. I don't think we'll be hearing from them anytime soon.
You murder the birds? Is that what you're
I will neither confirm nor deny that. Those birds are done.
What did you eat the birds though? Like what?
No. I don't like eating birds. You know, I'm a steak guy. I don't make shit.
He's got us locked in the drawer.
I don't need an opinion. We don't need football opinions from the birds anymore. You shut up out there.
Bird murderer. Oh God!
I don't have time for that.
Football talk. Glad to have you here, JC.
Jesus,
there's so many questions for these birds now. I'm a little bit concerned. I'm gonna start it off here. We'll go back and forth, kind of just talking about our 10 players that we're gonna watch closely here at OTAs and mini camp as we've got those dates coming up here. Number one for me right now is DJ Moore. Honestly, it's the conversation around DJ Moore last season. I think it got loud for I'm not going to say no reason. I do think there was clearly frustration and DJ showed it on his face, but I also think there's a part of that where that's just DJ's face. And so I think people took it way too far. Like I've watched the Bears on winning weeks and DJ Moore looks exactly the same. There have been many winning weeks. So, there could be that aspect of it as well. But
out of losing.
To me, I really want to see, what page are him and Caleb Williams on to start this season? We were late in the season last year, very similar to Rome Odunze, who we'll talk about here as well. But we were late in the season last year. I mean, week 12, week 13, and him and Caleb aren't on the same route tree.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's running a dig. Caleb's throwing it out, and it's like, what? How are you guys still having these mistakes? I really want to see kind of where that's going to be. I view DJ Moore as one of the big leaders here in this Chicago Bears, on this Chicago Bears team. I think that DJ is always the person that's going to put in the work, but I do think he is a lead by example kind of guy. He's on the field early every time we're there and we're walking in to practice or we're walking in for, training camp or whatever it is. DJ Moore's already on the field, on the jugs machine, or working with the quarterbacks out there to work on his craft. When we're leaving out, he's still out there. It's usually him and Jalen Johnson. So I think those are going to be it's going to be interesting to see kind of, especially with how crowded this wide receiver room is, how DJ Moore is going to outshine or stand out or set himself as the leader of that room.
No, I totally agree with that. And maybe the disconnect had something to do with Shane Waldron not actually watching film with Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams
could be that.
Figured things out on his own. So he's like, oh, well, maybe DJ's going this way, but he's going that way. I got to figure things out on the fly. So, no, I do hopefully the connection between quarterback one and wide receiver one does get better. I mean, that is extremely important for the betterment of the season, the betterment of the connection with this entire, wide receiver group as well. I think that this needs to be probably one of the important things that you need to see during OTAs and going forward is how do they kind of match together. How are they starting to get married together? And so I totally agree with that. That is pretty important to them.
100%.
I'm selling sparrow jerk legs.
No, this one took me up.
Come on, man.
The other white meat.
Jesus, man. You guys are nuts. You guys are
I will say, I do find this take interesting. Shout out Gucci Finesse. Gucci, of course, rocking with us all the time. He said, come on with that film ish, man. That's not true. How many people got to report something for y'all to believe it's true?
Yeah, why wouldn't you believe that?
We had so many sources say the film thing is a serious issue from last season, and there's still people out here just like, I don't believe it. Like, all right, at a certain point, it's just you don't believe it. It's all on you. Like, have fun with that. Who's your first person you watch it closely at
first guy?
Camp here, JC?
Yeah, we're talking about. Yeah, we're talking about receivers. I really want to see how Rome Odunze looks coming out the gate because that's a guy that I think will take a huge leap from year one to year two. You started to see, we're talking about chemistry and camaraderie. I don't think that that's an issue with him and Caleb. You started to see Caleb really go to Rome Odunze in a lot of clutch moments during games at the latter part of the season and really trust in him. And you saw that trust built over time because he was reliable. Obviously, reliable hands, great after the catch, great deep ball receiver. And so those are things that I want to start to see build off of that. By the looks of it, it looks like, man, he's been in the gym, like, pumping iron. He looks a little bit bigger. And so I think Rome Odunze is going to have, I won't say a breakout season, but I think he's going to kind of put himself on the map and kind of make sure that he solidifies himself as that other receiver outside of DJ Moore. He's going to be that guy that Caleb definitely goes to. So looking for Rome Odunze to put his stamp on OTAs.
Listen, I'll say it. Have a breakout season. I think honestly, you didn't draft somebody 10th overall to not be a breakout player.
True.
9th overall, honestly, he was a top 10 pick, but you didn't draft somebody 9th overall to not be a top player on the season. You didn't draft somebody 9th overall to not go out there and dominate. I want to see Rome Odunze set himself apart as the number 1 receiver. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I think that's the big thing about this season is there's a lot of mouths to feed, just like there's a lot of mouths to feed on every other team that has good offensive talent, right? There's a lot of mouths to feed down in Cincinnati. There's a lot of mouths to feed, in when you look at the division, right? Look at what's going on up in Minnesota. There's a lot of mouths to feed up there. I don't know about the Packers. Packers can't even get Jaden Reed. They had to go tell Jaden Reed, we still like you, Jaden. Jaden, it's okay. We still like you. We enjoy having you here. We drafted a wide receiver because none of y'all can stay healthy. But we still like you, Jaden. It's okay. Come to camp.
10 top
we enjoy
receivers.
you. But like you look at all these teams that have the elite wide receiver groups that are able to utilize these elite wide receiver groups, and there's still somebody that sets themselves apart. I want to see Rome Odunze be that guy that sets himself apart. And I don't think that's a wild ask, and I think that everybody still can fit in perfectly in those situations. That's going to be something that I do agree with you. Coming into OTA is going to be excited to see. Number 2 for me, I think, is the most important. Drew Dolman. This season does not get off to a good start without Drew Dolman getting off to a good start. He's your new anchor in the middle. He's got to quickly build up a rapport with Caleb Williams here. I think he's somebody who at times struggled in some of those shotgun snaps. He is going to be under center a lot more, but like you watched him last season in Atlanta. Sometimes he rolls that ball back there. It'll get back there, but it may not be a great snap to get it back there. I want to see how he's going to be with the snap connection with him and Caleb early on. Those are the things you really can tell from OTA. Again, it's OTAs, guys. Like, they're implementing systems. They're going through certain things. They just got out of phase 2. You're not going to see a ton. It's going to be 7-on-7 drills. It's going to be quarterback, wide receiver, and DB drills. Yeah, I mean, pretty much is what you're watching for at OTAs here. But the one thing you can see from Drew Dolman, how quickly is he getting off of the ball? How efficient is that snap between him and Caleb Williams? And I came out of last year. I think you got to, if you go back and you remember this, last year at OTAs, I was like, oh, we might be in trouble, boys. Like,
yeah, you saw it.
I don't see an offensive lineman out here that I like. Guess what? We got to the season. We were in trouble. I basically spent like 10 weeks going, we might be in trouble here on this offensive line. We saw a little bit of something in preseason. It was like, oh, maybe. And then it wasn't. And then immediately it all fell apart. So Drew Dolman's my number 2 on my list.
I like a Drew Dolman. I mean, we were the big Dolman guy. Haven't really had a reliable center for some time now. I mean, we've been kind of, shuffling through, guys' names. And of course, we know we have guys who understand the position, i.e. Coleman Shelton, but just don't have the talent, didn't have the level of skill to be consistent, to actually get the job done. And so now you have a guy who is in the prime of his career that is consistent with that can protect the quarterback, that can snap the ball, can do the main things that a center is supposed to do. And you got your guy in the middle that is important to the entire line, the signal caller. And so I love Drew Dolman. I think that's a very good pick. And I would say the line goes as he goes in a sense, and that's one of the things that I definitely would look forward to seeing at the beginning of the season is how does he fare with Caleb as far as that snap efficiency and things like that.
Yeah.
My second guy, I think, is going to be the breakout. My breakout guy for this year. I think he's going to be the most important guy on the defensive line. Is going to be Javon Dexter. I keep seeing different videos of him working out and monster of a man. I think he's been putting in a lot of work. You heard on the recap show, Tyson Bagent talking a lot about Javon Dexter being that all pro this year. He's voting for him to be an all pro. I second that vote. Javon Dexter, I think, is going to have an impact, not just at the beginning of the season like we saw last year, but through the entire season because of his own production, but also because you have more impact in the interior. You bring back Billings, and we saw how that really, freed him up in the middle. But you're also bringing Grady Jarrett, who he can learn from. You're also bringing Dio. You got Shamar as well. I think that this entire interior is going to be at some point special. I'm going to go out and say that. I'm not going to hide from saying that, but I think one of the special players will be Javon Dexter. He's going to really show himself. I believe this is year 3.
This is year.
Should be.
Is this year 3?
I believe it's year 3.
This is year
3 for Javon.
You know what? Yeah. And I think Javon Dexter is the least talked about player on this team. And it's because of, right, you saw the jump, you saw the pressure. He didn't do as well in one-on-one situations or in double team situations last season, but you got 15 games out of him. You got 5 sacks, doubled his sack numbers from year 1 to year 2. Definitely looked more comfortable. That defensive line was in disarray the entire offseason. So to me, it's not surprising, or I'm sorry, the entire season once Andrew Billings went out. Not surprising to me that he took a little bit of a step back in the second half of the season, but you wanted to see more from him, honestly. And you want to see that, early in that season, I should say, it felt like Javon Dexter was outperforming what Jalen Carter was doing. All the things we saw Jalen Carter do at the second half and the rest of the season, that was Javon Dexter early on, except until Andrew Billings was gone, and then you weren't able to be that guy. Can you be that guy no matter what? That's what's going to be very important to see from Javon coming into this season, because listen, as a second round pick, as going after you that early on in the draft, you were a high pick. You were somebody that was expected to take a step. You're now 3 seasons into a penetrating system. You got to be quicker off of the ball.
Yeah.
And I think he was that in moments last year, but not always that. And this season, that's what I really want to see from Javon, especially getting into camp. How quickly is he going to be able to get off of the ball? How quickly is he going to be able to try and get into the quarterback's lap? Because that's the one thing you're going to have with Grady Jarrett. And Grady Jarrett has gotten old. That's the one thing you're going to have with Shamar Turner. They're going to get off of the ball quickly. Even Andrew Billings last year got off of the ball quickly. I think Javon Dexter can have those all-pro. I think he's got all the intangibles to do it. He's a massive human being. He's a mountain of a man walking through there.
Yeah.
It cracks me up. Everybody was like, look how skinny Javon looks. And I'm like, then he posted like a workout video yesterday, and I was like, this is the dude y'all thought was skinny? This dude's massive. He's going to
be a problem
this year.
You go. I want your soul.
Do I gotta say that?
What do you get your deep voice? What do you was on sound?
Well, that was scary.
Jeez.
That was a little scary in the morning. We need to say a prayer.
Number
3 for me, Roshan Johnson.
Get us out of here.
Roshan Johnson.
Tweet.
God.
He's going to be somebody incredibly interesting to watch here at OTAs, because I said this yesterday on the video. I don't think that you can go out there and win a job in OTAs and in minicamp. But I think jobs can absolutely be lost in OTAs and in minicamp. And Roshan Johnson, to me, is somebody who can't afford to lose ground. Now, is the situation going to be you lose ground, DeAndre Swift's the number 1, and the Kyle Monunga guy's number 2, and however that works out, it works out? I don't know. You may be heading into training camp and adding a running back to the situation if they don't like what they're seeing here in OTAs. But that is a position of need right now. And as a power back in entering year 3. One who, if you guys remember, when he was drafted, Ryan Poles said is going to be a pillar of the franchise. You're going to get your opportunity, because I don't care what any of these people in the YouTube comments say. Believe what Ben Johnson actions tell you. Believe what Ryan Poles actions tell you. They've tried to replace DeAndre Swift with a number 1 at every single turn. You get a running back in the 7th, Roschon Johnson. This is all the opportunity you need. Make sure you're not concussed. I don't know how you do that, but try to stay unconcussed. Show that you deserve a much bigger role in this offense, and I think that the Bears are looking for somebody to give those carries to.
That's
so
a very good.
Roschon Johnson can win this job, but can have a footing in the number 1 spot as we head into training camp.
Yeah, he should try to solidify his name in there. He's not one of those guys that's on the fringes to me, but I mean, you've seen over the last couple of years, Roschon hasn't necessarily been used as far as the amount of production that you assumed, that I even assumed that he would get, whether it be red zone work, whether it be goal line work, third downs and short, whatever. He just wasn't utilized as much as I thought as that running back too. And so this is going to be a pivotal year, because the running back room has gotten bigger, it's gotten more talented, and it's gotten more challenging. And you mentioned a name that I'll mention here in a minute, but you have competition. You need to actually show yourself to be ready to beat that competition. Otherwise, you will be replaced. And we saw the depth chart for Ben Johnson is wide open. Now of course we know that isn't technically true for every single position, but I know, right? That's what there's no depth chart set. Really, Tyson's got a shot. Oh yeah, Tyson's
got a shot. So you're saying there's a chance? Where's the TB? Was that dude TB5 or whatever Tyson Baker's number? TB 13. Sorry, I don't memorize my quarterback's numbers.
There's only 2 actual
TB 17.
Okay. TB17. There's only 2 actual spots that will never be replaced. It's going to be quarterback 1 and punter 1. That's all.
I don't know. There's another Aussie.
There's
another Aussie.
He shut up.
There's another Aussie punter. He's got.
He's going to get what the Birds got this morning.
Yeah.
If never mind. No, anyway, moving on to my third guy. Moving right along. No, you shut up out there. I told you to shut up. All right. My third guy is my guy, Cal Monungai. Big Monungai. And he's especially the one that I am really excited to see how he fares in OTAs, because, again, you're talking about competition. Competition is supposed to get the best out of everyone. And so you're talking about Roschon Johnson trying to solidify his position. Maybe, they want to try and get Swift out of here in some kind of fashion. And, who's really going to be that running back 1? I'm going with Cal Monungai. He looks the part. He's saying all the right things. I love the question. I saw one of the posts by you when you asked a question about
I'm telling you, the comments be getting me. JC, how much for a 3-piece sauce on the side?
Whatever. I think the Cal Monungai is going to be somebody who surprises you. Being a 7th round pick, you don't really necessarily think that they usually make the roster, but he's the exception to the rule. He's the outlier. And everything that you see, again, when you mentioned the question about, do you think that you're a pass catcher out of the backfield? Do you think that that's something that you actually have as part of your game? Because it wasn't really shown and displayed in, when he was with the Rutgers. He said, well, yeah, that's not something that they asked me. Clearly, that wasn't the game plan, because they didn't have a pass game. And so that's one of the things that I want to see is he someone who can be reliable, not just in running the ball and carrying the ball, obviously, but also coming out of the backfield and being able to catch as well, being able to block. We know that's one of his strengths as well. And so I think that he's going to put a lot of heat, a lot of pressure on running back 2 first. But then, as I said, by the middle of the season, we never know. He could be producing at a certain level where he could be running back 1. I would love to see that.
Listen, I take the pick off of it. Take the 7th round pick moniker.
Take that draft value. Huh? Okay.
We know he was the leading rusher in the Big Ten, right?
Yeah.
Like people act like Kyle Monunga, like because he was a 7th round pick, this dude didn't rush in one of the biggest conferences in football for 1,200 yards.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand the conversation around Kyle Monunga because it's just like if anybody else led rushing in the Big Ten, they would be the talk of the town. I get it, 5'9", right? Very different running back, 5'9", a little bit smaller, doesn't have that speed of a guy who's 5'9". But he still led the league in rushing, or led the Big Ten in rushing. He still went his entire college career, 669 snaps without a single fumble. He had 14 touchdowns last season. Like, we're sitting here looking at the draft pick like that's the only distinction of the player. Oh, he went in the 7th round, so he's not going to pan out.
He must suck. Yeah,
he must suck. What does that mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
JP, relax, dog. Kind of does give pre-elevator Ray Rice vibes. You know what I mean? Like,
wow. All right. Not bad comparison on
you're
the field.
adding one of the, honestly, as a player, it's a really good comparison. You're adding in one of the best pass blockers from the running back position in football, only behind who I would have loved for the Bears to trade up and get, who they tried to do with the Patriots. I don't know if you guys saw that article.
Yeah, I saw that.
They don't want DeAndre Swift. Who they tried to get in Travion Henry, I think is the number 1 guy.
Yeah.
Like, we sit here and talk about this man like, oh, he's a 7th round pick, not going to pan out. He led the Big Ten in rushing. Well, it's because of his attempts. No, then they were just stacking 8 in the box. He still led the Big Ten in rushing.
Still got the job done. Yeah.
Like, it's insane to me, the conversation around Kyle Monunga. And people think he's not going to make the team. Like, what are y'all talking about? Smoking that Chicago pack, baby. Yeah, that Packer pack. Smoking that Packer pack.
That cheese pack.
Smoking that cheese pack. That's what they smoke. Let's keep it moving along here, George JC. We are going to take a quick break here for a word from our sponsors. And when we come back, we're going to run through our last couple for each. We got 4 and 5 coming up next. And I'm looking at the defense on this one. Talk amongst yourselves in the comments. We're going to hear from our sponsors over at Aura.
Let us have the box.
Shut up.
Appreciate you guys for tuning in and watching the show. Today's episode of the podcast is brought to you by Aura. Have you ever done a Google search on your own name? You'd be surprised what pops up. Your full name, email address, home address, health records, your relatives. It's all out there. And that's why I've been using Aura, the sponsor of today's video. Aura shows me which data brokers are selling my information and automatically submits opt-out requests just for me. Cleaning up my information not only helps reduce the amount of spam I get, but it protects me from hackers who could use that information to help them access my social media, bank accounts, and other sensitive information. It's really simple to set up. I don't have to download several apps or go to things like antivirus, VPN, password management, parental controls, identity theft, but you can get all of that in one place with Aura. I get everything at one affordable price as well. You may already have 1 or 2 of these tools, but not having Aura is like leaving the front door locked while leaving the back door and windows wide open. For you to be able to take advantage of Aura, we got a special deal for you here today. Stop data brokers from exposing your personal information. Go to my sponsor at https://aura.com/the Windy City. Again, that is aura.com/the Windy City to get a 14-day free trial and see how much of your information is being sold. Welcome back. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love. We do have this just in from somebody inside Jordan JC's household. Oh, Jordan! Oh, Jordan! No! Oh, God! What? Not the pigeons, Jordan. Not the... Why? Why? Yeah, bet you thought that was gonna be fried hard with lemon pepper, huh?
First of all,
and off of that, over 100 in the chat. Over 200 in the chat. Over 300 in the chat. 300. You bastard.
I would never do that. I would never cook those birds.
It was not gonna lie. A little duck sauce.
No, I ain't gonna lie. I need to take the head off. I'm not
that bad.
No. The head go. The head's gotta go. The head's gotta go.
Oh, welcome back in. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. We are going through our top 10 players that we want to watch closely. We want to watch closely in the chat. Shout out Bulls Daily, over 200 in the chat. 200. That we want to watch closely at OTAs. Did you see the tweet that Baki said? Hey, that's exactly how it looked, bro. Like, bro, man, from the 5th floor.
Just stuck some pigeons up that dang stick.
Hold on. Let me see. Yeah, I get the reaction video, Joy. There it is. There. I got free range chickens. They in the range of, they was free for me. For you, they gonna be in the range of $10 to $20. Oh, well, like and subscribe.
Oh, yeah,
yeah, like and subscribe.
Hey, man, I ain't marinating in pork and bean juice. I know that much.
Oh, my God, bro.
Marinating in pork and bean juice.
That's phenomenal.
Boys, right up that stick. Huh?
I said, bruh, man. That wasn't bruh, man. That was freaking. What was his name on the show?
God dang it. That wasn't
I don't remember his name on the show. I just remember he was like, I got these free range chickens. They was free for me. For you, they was in the range of $10 to $15.
Hustle Man. Is it Hustle Man?
Hustle Man.
Hustle Man. There you go, Cyrus. Thank you.
Bruh, Hustle Man.
Hustle Man.
Oh, that was hilarious, bro.
Why did we not know that? That's the most obvious name, Hustle Man.
Like,
very straightforward.
They wasn't working that hard. They wasn't working that hard. He was hustling. When he came with that little bitty pizza. I got you, brother. I'm always looking to help out an entrepreneur in need. That little bitty pizza.
Oh boy. Boy. Shout out to the Blind Show.
Let's get back into some football talk, man. As we went through three of our top 10 players that we want to watch. I guess technically we went through 6 of our top 10 players that we want to watch at training at OTAs here. Let's get back into it with Shamar Turner being my number 4. Shamar Turner, I think is going to be a massive player for the Chicago Bears this season. I know that he was taken after a little bit of injury, coming off of some of that injury, but having that young player that can come in behind Grady Jarrett, that can come in behind Gervon Dexter, right, and still be a force. To me, Shamar Turner is somebody who went under the radar dealing with the injury, but that went under the radar because he never adjusted to a 2-gap system. They tried to put him in a 2-gap system. He didn't know who the heck. All right, which gap am I hitting? When he knew the gap, he was able to get to the hole, fill the gap immediately, make tackles for loss, get through to the quarterback, all of those things, right? And so when you look at his college numbers, you go, oh, it's kind of skewed. I don't know. Like I don't like the numbers that he put up in college, he wasn't really that dominant. I just think he wasn't comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
It's an opportunity to come into a system, penetrating style system that I think he's absolutely much more comfortable in. I think you're going to see this young man thrive. He is my sleeper pick for a DPOY candidate. A defensive rookie of the year,
Rookie of the year.
D-R-O-Y.
A droy, not
a droy, if you will.
You want a droy? Okay.
He's my rookie candidate for, because I think he's going to make a really nice impact in the middle of there.
There's a path where I could see him being in the running for that. I do like a Shamar Turner, man. That I love. He's violent. I love the fact that he has a certain level of aggression that you just can't coach. And to me, he even comes in the same mode as Javon coming out of Florida. The fact that, they were not comfortable in the scheme that they were running, and yet you knew that they had the talent, that level of talent, where if you just put him in the right position, yes, he can take off. You said, a penetrating scheme, penetrating system, then yes, I think he will have all of the potential to be very, very good. And I love the fact that you're not putting as much pressure on him as well out the gate, being one of the top picks, because you have all of these other guys that he can lean on, that he's going to be mentored by, and Grady Jarrett. And I love the locker room and the position group or core that they have for him to just kind of come into his own and kind of ease into his role, be comfortable with it. You're learning from some of the better names, in the league, and Grady and Billings. And so, Shamar Turner, he could break out. Now, he does have some stiff competition. There's a guy in Cleveland that's going to be playing alongside Myles Garrett.
It's a little Abdul Carter action.
No. Well, he's Giants. I'm talking about. Mason Graham, your other guy, Mason Graham.
Mason Graham, yeah.
Oh boy, yeah.
It's gonna be tough. Listen, I didn't say he was gonna win it. I said he's in the running.
So as long as he's being talked about,
he's
right?
my sleeper pick for defensive rookie of the year. It's not a wake yet.
Yeah, he's not sleeping. He's not awake. Okay, all right. Yeah. Sleep just like those birds.
No,
See
what you do to those birds, man.
Oh no, he what is it? 450 on preheat.
You 450 for 15 minutes.
But no, my next guy.
Anybody?
Oh, stop it! That's a disturbing. Is that me? Oh, guess who's coming to dinner? My next guy is a very obvious name. It is the most obvious name for OTAs. But I mean, who else would you want to see obviously take off and improve in year two more than quarterback one, Caleb Williams?
Yeah,
I think that Caleb Williams needs to continue to learn the playbook. This is a new system, a new scheme. I want to see his connection, as you mentioned, with DJ Moore. I want to see his connection with. There's a lot of connections that I think he needs to mesh well together with, and one of them obviously being Ben Johnson as well. Will they be on the same page when it comes to the offensive play calling and the creation, and what happens with that? I want to see that. Of course, I mentioned the connection between him and Rome Odunze. There's going to be a lot of connections. Colston Loveland, Cole Kmet, like DeAndre Swift in the past game. So I want to see how Caleb fares. By all accounts, many people are saying he looks more comfortable. He already looks like he has a good grasp of, the scheme. And so that's what I want to see. I want to see Caleb kind of take that next step and solidify himself as the franchise guy for our team.
Yeah, listen, I mean, Caleb's the obvious name, right? Everything that was done this offseason was for Caleb Williams. And to me, I want to see the step that Caleb Williams not only takes in the system, but also takes as a leader. I talked about this yesterday. How many games were there last year where Caleb was like, yeah, I probably should call a timeout here, but I don't want to overstep my boundary.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like that to me is something that this season I don't want to see. I want to see Caleb be the leader of this team. I want to see Caleb call timeouts, go over to Ben Johnson and say, what the hell are you looking at right now? We gotta get this together. Right. I want to see that back and forth, that passion that of the quarterbacks that he idolized growing up, right? The Aaron Rodgers. Maybe we don't do everything Aaron Rodgers did, but do the football stuff that Aaron Rodgers did. No ayahuasca.
Retreats.
He's living on that Tom Brady diet right now. Like,
ooh, I saw that diet.
Yeah, that's not me. That
I'm
Hey.
sorry.
Hey,
I'm
you
sorry.
go all out for the craft that you got.
Can't do it.
I need steak for the craft I got.
Yeah. I need
Yeah.
steak.
Yeah. I need steak for the craft I got. You know what I don't need though? I don't need that.
Is there birds on the TV
I don't
diet?
need
There's
that.
no pigeons on the TV diet. I don't think.
I got some winglets from
winglets
from Sam's Club the other day that weren't questionable.
Did you?
I'm not gonna lie to you. It was a little tiny.
Oh,
It was like, what y'all take these off a baby chicken? Like, what's going on here? It might have been pigeon.
they ran out of adult chickens.
Yeah,
to
they
catch.
might have.
Okay.
They might have.
All right.
Free range. My number 5 player on the list, man, to finish it off. I think Caleb Williams is an obvious one there. But I'm looking on the defensive side. And you know what?
Yeah.
As much as I want Caleb to be a leader on the offensive side, you need somebody who's a leader on the defensive side. And coming out of OTAs last year, we knew who the leaders were on the field. I said it. DeMarcus Walker. And I think Tevin Jenkins said it with Ryan Bates last season. Those were your 2 leaders on the field. I love D-Walk. That's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
When those are the vocal leaders on your team, that's a problem. This year, you've added a piece like Grady Jarrett. I think you added him more so for that veteran leadership, for that toughness. He's coming off a little bit of an injury. I think he will be much more healthy. I think he will be fine finishing or coming into the season. But I think a guy like Grady Jarrett coming in is here to make an impact. Don't get me wrong on this. I think you're hoping for a bounce back 8-sack season from Grady Jarrett here. But in the long run of this, how do you impact Javon Dexter? How do you impact Shamar Turner? How do you stand in with Andrew Billings in that room, right? Like, you've got some real names on that defensive interior. That's clearly been a focus for you. How do you affect this team as a leader? And is it a lead by example? Is a vocal leader? You need vocal leaders on this team. We got a bunch of examples. And unfortunately, there's nobody telling the examples, hey, you got to be in line as well. I think Grady Jarrett brings that, and I'm excited to see that here at OTAs.
I love that. I love the reasoning behind it too, because as a leader, I think it's not just because we've had plenty of leaders, as you mentioned, over the years that are good locker room guys, right? They're good vocal leaders. But I think at this point, with the type of team, with the type of culture that we're trying to set, with a lot of these good rookies that are coming in onto the team, you need leaders that are not only good voices, but also they can back it up with their production on the field. And Grady Jarrett, and you mentioned Drew Dahlman, those are the guys that can do that. Now, I'm not saying that Grady Jarrett is going into the peak of his career. We know that Grady Jarrett is kind of in the twilights of his career, but he still can give you some things. It's not like he's completely past, his production. And so I think that goes a long way. I am excited to see what Grady Jarrett can bring to this team, because everything that he's saying is that he's still got a little juice in the tank. Yeah. And, if he stays healthy, which I think he will, because you have so many players that you can kind of exchange and rotate in and out on that interior, that's going to impact the other guys when they see just the way he plays, how he goes about his business throughout the season, whatever kind of workout regimen he has, whatever kind of, diet regimen he has, whatever he's doing. Allow Shamar Turner, allow the Javon Dexters, even the Dios, the younger guys, to imitate that and learn from him, because in his prime he was a special player. And so those are the type of guys that you want on your team. And I'm really excited that Grady is on the Bears.
Yeah, me too.
All right, my last guy
out here strong, my guy. Who's the pigeon of this list?
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. That actually is a perfect way to call this to mention this guy, because boy, oh boy, I told you before, I really didn't like this guy. I wanted him gone. There's so many other players on this team that could have easily replaced him, but he still has the talent to be a very good, might I even add, special player. That's Tyrique Stevenson. One word I want to see in OTAs with Tyrique Stevenson: discipline. I want to see, are you disciplined? People can sit there and say that they've learned from their mistakes all day long. You can get up on the podium and be like, oh, I'm sorry. I'll never do it again. Slap on the wrist and move forward, right? The last regime actually kind of softened the blow when it came to Tyrique Stevenson. They didn't manage him well. They didn't discipline him well, in a sense. I'm not saying he's a little boy and he needs a spanking or whatever the case may be. He's a grown man, but there are times where you need to allow grown men to understand, hey, do your job better. Get in line, or you will be replaced. And that's exactly what Ben Johnson's culture is going to be about, is if you're not doing your job, as you mentioned, the depth chart's wide open. Now, I do believe that with him.
Yeah.
because you have other talented players on this team already in Terrell Smith. You got a nice rookie coming out, I believe, in Zay Frazier, who will be testing him as well. You got players all over the place that could easily replace Tyrique Stevenson. So I want to see how specifically Al Harris goes about his business with him and says, hey, work on your discipline, work on your focus, work on your the intangibles of the game, because you have the talent. Now put it all together.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think the discipline is something. Listen, he had 2 horrible plays last year, right? Where it was just like, you cost us a game. And really just the one. There's one where it kind of leads to a play that costs you the game, but there's the big one that will be replayed for the rest of our ever-loving days, and Washington fans will be able to hold it over us unless we come out and just slap the dog mess out of them this year. I need a 35-point blowout.
Unless we slap the bird.
Slap the pigeon out of them. You know what I mean? Like, that's really the only way to do it. But I think this is the thing with Tyrique. Tyrique in coverage last year was horrible. Tyrique had 5 good coverage games the entire season. You had maybe 2 to 3 more solid coverage games. But Tyrique was getting picked on whenever the number 1 wide receiver was switched to his side. He was horrible. I shouldn't say horrible. He had a tough coverage season. I care more about you improving that than improving the extracurricular stuff after the whistle, because you really didn't get called for a ton of after the whistle penalties. In fact, a lot of them were called on the receiver because you were getting under their skin. I need that edge from Tyrique Stevenson. It's something that he does have that I think is valuable. The part where don't be dumb. That's Washington ain't disciplined. Washington is dumb. That was just dumb.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you didn't even, like, I get you taunting, but then you didn't even go over and, one, do what you were taught to do, which, as much as we could clown Flus, I know he knows how to teach defense. So you didn't even do what you were taught to do, which is not knock down the ball or try and tip the ball. And 2, you didn't even cover your man. So, like, for me with Tyrique, I think the jump comes from him, where now you're going to have Jalen Johnson every single play covering the number 1 wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
For the most part, not every single play. There's going to be plays he's off the field, stuff like that. But it's not going to be, we're switching Justin Jefferson on to Tyrique Stevenson, and this is when we absolutely cook you.
Don't do it.
It's not going to be, we're switching I can't even think who else we play this year that's an elite receiver. I got to look through the list. We got some dogs on the list on this.
Well,
team,
Cincinnati,
actually.
T. Higgins, you and Jamar Chase.
Yeah, that may be a long day no matter what. That may be a long day no matter what. We'll see. Jesus. We'll see. You know, but it is one of those things where it's like, versus the number 2, do you match up better?
Yeah.
Because you weren't getting a ton of opportunity. Remember Nico Collins just last year, just eviscerating Tyrique every single play.
Killed him. Yeah.
And you got the Cowboys this year. You got CD.
Ooh, you got your George. Yeah.
You got Pickens. You're probably going to be on Pickens. Does Pickens get under your skin, or do you get under Pickens' skin?
Picking you apart. You gonna be
but see, the thing is, he can sit there and go at Pickens all day. And George Pickens a snap.
They gonna get each other tossed out the game.
Where I want to see George Pickens versus Tyrique Stevenson, because Tyrique is good in those moments of like, hey, how you doing? What's going on? Yeah, poke. what you got going? Poke. He hit me. Ref, get him out of here. You know what I mean? Like, that's the game to have, Tyrique. So I'm not as worried about the discipline. I think, listen, if you don't learn that lesson, you shouldn't be in the NFL. After that game, you're going to be replayed for the rest of your life. Mm-hmm. There's going to be a documentary about you. Don't let Jaden go on and become a great quarterback. Like an all-time great. They're going to hit you up to be in the documentary.
When did Jaden go from good to great? The Hail Mary pass.
That's facts.
The start of his greatness. Yeah.
So if you don't learn from that lesson, you shouldn't be in the league.
Yeah.
But we'll see, man. I mean, listen, I'm not. I think Reek is going to be fine. I think Al Harris is going to have him right.
Hopefully.
Those are our 10 players that we are looking forward to watching closely here at OTAs, and we'll tap in again, of course, for minicamp. I will be up at OTAs tomorrow, although they say like it's going to be like tornadoes and stuff like that. You know, yeah, I don't know. I'm going, but
you taking chances? All right.
Well, listen, Hallis Hall's a bunker, so.
Oh, okay.
I'm safer at Hallis Hall than I am at the house. But no, you know what's funny? I said this yesterday on the show. We're like one of there's all these Bears channels that are cracking every day. Yeah. Here's why I said subscribe here to the Breeze. We're like one of 3 channels that actually goes up to OTAs and practice, and everybody takes the things that we say and then they go do a show about them.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, I noticed that.
Stay tuned in with us. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, man. Rock in with us. It's us, Moreno, the Nick Moreno show. Shout out to Moreno. And CHGO. That's it.
There you go.
Appreciate y'all for doing that. Show love as always, man. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page. Leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. Unlike those pigeons, they are not safe. Oh God.
They're not breathing.
You throw a little tzatziki on that?
The best show for Chicago sports.
Really?
For Mr. Medium Self, George JC. It's your boy Pastor Designer back at it again.
I need it fried.
Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. Well, you look like your mouth was salivating over there. What? That
was like, that actually look good. I need it fried. I'm sorry. Jesus.
That was insane.
Man, Jay Crit said 3-piece with a side of sauce.
Oh, that was funny. What those birds say?
When I came down.